so sorry that this video is going to be super long. Consider this your yearbook masterclass. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Martha, and if you are familiar with my channel, you know that this is a very different type of video. I have lots of tricks up my sleeve. I've done lots of different things, and if you're not new, then this is something totally different that I've never actually done on my channel. But today I wanted to share to you guys, if you are a yearbook editor, if you are a yearbook contributor, whatever you do, if you are in your journalism or yearbook team, club, class at school, this video is for you, and I'm happy that you are joining me because I have a couple of things that I want to share that will help you create the best yearbook for your school. So if you are interested in learning a couple of tips from a previous yearbook editor-in-chief, then keep on watching. Okay, so I'm so excited to present to you guys my babies. These are my babies. So let me just explain, for those of you who don't know, I was the lifestyle editor for this yearbook my sophomore year in high school. And then for my senior year in high school, I was the editor-in-chief for this yearbook. Today I'm gonna talk about 3 different things. First, theme, the second one is content, and then the third is design. 3 very important things that I think are super critical for your yearbook creation. So the first thing is theme. The most important thing about a yearbook is having a theme that is reflective of your school and of your class. This was our 25th anniversary of our school. It's very reflective. I'm sorry about that. So that was something that was very important, and you know, from the school administrators, they wanted the yearbook to be a 25th anniversary edition, which is cool, except for when you're creating a theme for a yearbook, a 25th anniversary theme isn't something that is very creative or able to interpret easily. So I actually was the one who came up with the theme for the yearbook, and it is called Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow. We wanted something that was, of course, honoring the 25 years of our past, and also that 25th year, and also the future that was to come. For this yearbook, my pride and joy, the theme I wanted, of course, to be very reflective of our class. My senior class, was the first ever class graduating through the Cambridge International Program. So that was a huge highlight. And so the theme that I actually ended up creating for this yearbook was Destined to Be. I really felt like my class, my classmates, my peers, my friends, that we were all very much going to be successful in our next chapter, that we were going to be destined for success, destined to do great things out in the world, in our careers and in our passions and everything. And yeah, this theme was received very, very highly, and I love it. So the next thing is, you want your theme to be unique and you want it to be authentic. Those 2 things are very, very important in creating a theme. If you go onto Google or Pinterest or whatever and look for yearbook themes, you're going to find a lot. Now, there are some very awesome ones out there that I saw, and I'm going to throw them up on the screen right now. But then there are also some that I was just like, ugh. And mainly it's because they're not unique and they're not authentic. They're very cringe-worthy, you know. And you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like those themes, like leaving our print, and then it's like a paw print in the back, or the time is now, or something like that. Those themes, like, we've done it, like, it's time to move on. Think of something new. Think of something authentic that is true to you, true to your class, true to your school, and that is unique, that nobody else can copy that. So for both of these, I had never seen any themes like this, and I created both of these themes. So Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow, it's kind of like a saying, but maybe not traditionally used as a theme for anything, but that was what made it unique. This one is very authentic and this one's very unique. Destined to Be, I've never seen a yearbook ever that has this title. Maybe there is out there, but yeah. So you want to create themes that are very unique and authentic to your class. Okay, the third thing that is very important also is that you keep your theme timeless so that you can look back 4 years after, 10 years after, 25 years after, and that you are not embarrassed of the theme that you picked. These themes are things that I think are still timeless till this day. And let me just tell you, it's been 6 years since I have helped create this yearbook, and it has been 4 years since I've helped create this yearbook. And till this day, I absolutely love these yearbooks. Try to avoid themes that are very like trendy, that are very cool at that moment, like social media and like, you know, just popular things at the moment that you know are just fads and that 20, 30 years later aren't going to be, you know, cool anymore. So try to pick a very timeless, I cannot stress it enough, a timeless theme, because you are going to hate yourself later on if you pick a terrible theme. My final tip for the theme point of this is pick a theme that is all inclusive and representative of everyone, and that you can interpret through different elements that won't limit you. And I'm gonna hit that a little bit later on, but really consider what I just said. You want this theme to really represent and include everybody, not just the sports people, not just, you know, the cheerleaders, not just the nerds, not just the art people. You want it to include everybody. So if I stuck a bunch of flowers all over this is obviously going to not fit in with lots of other people. But if I put in like a bunch of skulls or like guitars or something like that, then not everybody would like that. So pick a theme that is inclusive and representative of everybody. Okay, moving on to the second point, which is content. So the first thing that is super critical is that you are telling a story. Don't forget that this is a book. You are telling a story, a book about that year, a book about what happened, what everybody experienced. You're telling a story using images, using articles that support each other. So for example, in the lifestyle section, I was able to include this page, which was an article that I wrote called Destined to Be, kind of explaining what the theme of the book was. So you want to include things that tell a story of your yearbook. Second thing is involve your school. So what I recommend is also to utilize other classes or other clubs as well. For example, if you have a photography class, if you have a Photoshop, or if you have, you know, some of those classes, plan in advance and ask those teachers, hey, like is there any way that your students can, you know, work on a picture for the yearbook? Or if your students can specifically design, you know, like the cover of this or that or whatever. Include as many people as you can. Number one, it is awesome because people feel like they were a part of making it. And number two, it'll be another selling point because they had a part in making the yearbook. They'll want to buy that yearbook. So that is one way to help sell your yearbooks as well. Another way to involve your school. It was hard to take pictures of everything, to be everywhere at one time, you know? So what I actually did, this is back in 2014, guys, when I made this yearbook. Instagram didn't exist really when I made this one. But when I made this one, Instagram was, you know, blowing up at the time. So what I did was I made an Instagram page, and, you know, I had people post their own pictures on their own accounts and then tag our yearbook account. And we also made a hashtag. We made EHS Yearbook 14, I think it was, or whatever, and we had people tag their pictures there, and then we would include all of their pictures that they submitted through there. So you'll see right here we did our hashtag, and then the pictures that people submitted, and then over here like photo bombs and fails and things like that. I highly recommend that you make an Instagram or Twitter account or Facebook group page. Okay, the third thing with content is that you want to include topics, trends, and ideas that are obviously really important and really popular at that time. Is just listen and notice what your school talks and likes and why. Yeah, don't just include things that you personally like or that you think other people will like. Really pay attention to the things that people are talking about. Really know what they are interested in, what are their passions. Something that was really obvious for my class was that they loved traveling, was that they loved adventures, that they loved doing things and activities and being a part of something, which is maybe the case for you, but not always the case for everybody. So I tried to include that as much as I could. There's pages about traveling. There's pages of what they, want to do, what they are going to do, and things like that. So if you're paying attention to your peers, make sure that you are incorporating what their passions are as well into the yearbook. So for example, you will soon be here. We asked people where they wanted to move to in the future and included a map. What they were doing, color runs were like all of the rage in 2014. And then we did hashtags were like exploding again. Instagram is on the rise. So we had a bunch of cool hashtags. Then over here I had a huge page on today's trends and what we like now. So everything, we covered all the top apps, we covered the music, the movies, the icons, the shows, things like what's cool, what's cooler, Pandora or Spotify, Android or Apple, Netflix or Hulu. And then we even did with like that Instagram account, we did it a week in Instagram. So Monday, Man Crush Monday, Transformation Tuesday, Woman Crush Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, Flashback Friday, Saturday night, and Sunday selfie. So yeah, just doing things like that will really include a lot of people. The fourth thing is design. So design is obviously really important. So let's start with the first thing, which is aesthetic. Creating an aesthetic, which basically that includes your colors and your cover. That is going to be your overall aesthetic. So for us, my yearbook advisor was very set on having 3 colors. Your primary color, your secondary color, and then your complementary color. She only allowed us to do 3 colors. That's why this one was silver, blue, and red, which are our school colors, blue and red. And then with this one, I went a little bit crazy and I did a turquoise, purple, and green, and I also threw in a dash of silver. So just talking about covers really quickly. So for this cover, like I mentioned, this was our 25th anniversary, which was a very important year for us. So we splurged a little bit on our cover and we went with a metallic cover, which was really cool. And basically we had never done a yearbook that was metallic. So doing that was kind of our, cover focal point, that this was metallic. And that's why the design is very simple. We just did a huge line, an arrow that goes throughout the back and the front, saying yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and then the title. I didn't design the cover of this yearbook. Had I designed it, I would have done it a little bit differently, but I still think that overall this is very simple and very good. Okay, so for this cover, I just wanted it to explode on your face, because that was our class. We were gonna go out and explode like never before, growth and stuff like that. And so we had triangles. Triangles were really cool in the design world at that time. And my triangles were embossed, different shapes, different sizes, and different colors. And they pop up a little bit because of the emboss that they have. The letters, I decided to put the title right through the middle of the like explosion of triangles, you can't really see. And that is one of my biggest regrets with this yearbook, that the title was really hard to read, and I should have done it in all caps. I don't know why I ended up deciding to do it the way I did do it, but I wish I would have done it in all caps looking back now. The overall cover is turquoise, and at that time ombre was super huge, and so I did a gradient cover, and this is also soft touch, which I really liked. So your colors and your covers are going to be your overall aesthetic, and you want to make sure that you really are selective and very critical, and analyze every single thing. Why are you choosing those colors? Why are you embossing this? Or why are you choosing this texture over that texture? Those decisions are very important. Okay, the second thing is, again, like I mentioned in the content one, the second one with design is tell the story. So you want to tell your story through design. Using the design elements of, art. So like I said with this one, the theme was yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So with that theme, how are you going to interpret that throughout the whole entire yearbook? What design elements are you going to use to actually bring that theme to life? So what they ended up deciding for this one was using arrows, using lines, using timelines, things like that throughout the entire yearbook. And you'll see it like this. You have a huge arrow right over here. And then with this one, with the design elements, as you can tell from the cover, we did lots of triangles. You'll see a bunch of triangles all throughout the yearbook, with lines, of course, as well, and diamonds. Those were like the main shapes that I wanted to use. Third thing that I highly recommend, which was again one of my regrets as well, is add layers, add dimensions, and add texture as much as you can, because your yearbook can get very one-dimensional very easily, and that makes it kind of boring. So for example, with this one, we layered a lot of our diamonds up on top. Here, we created texture with tiles. And yeah, we would just try to layer as much as possible throughout the entire yearbook. I recommend that you go to your Barnes & Noble or your local bookstore, whatever, and go through the magazine section. Just walk through the magazine section and look at all of the covers. And wherever your eye goes, wherever you feel drawn to, take note of that. So maybe it's the font of this magazine, or maybe it was the colors that were used. Things like that, everything that catches your eye, take note of it. And then essentially what you want to do is recreate that kind of feeling, that thing that draws you to that page, so that you can implement that into your yearbook. So people will be drawn to the pages and not just, glance over them, but that they'll actually be pulled into it. Okay, so those were my tips for the theme, the content, and the design. So if you're a yearbook editor or a contributor or whatever you are, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did find it at all helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know down below in the comments what kind of theme you are pursuing, or your ideas or your suggestions for other people who are creating their yearbook. I hope you guys loved my babies just as much as I do. These are my babies. I love them so much. And being a part of creating a yearbook is amazing. It is so cool. It is a blessing. And I hope you guys enjoy the process of creating your yearbook, because it is a feeling like no other to be able to hold them years later and say, I made this. Like, this I made. Anyways, thanks for joining me today. I'll see you guys again really soon. Bye, guys.